Hey, what's up, everybody, man? What's going on with y'all, man? Hey, listen, man. It's your boy back again, right? The umpire, Aaron Mars, right? Coming to you today, right? To uplift the integrity of the workplace, uplift the integrity of safety in the workplace, and the integrity of who you are in the world. Come on, man. I'm dealing with the SPE process. Safety, productivity, and execution. Let me tell you something. There's nothing else more that you need to develop in your organization than those three things, right? And it starts with your culture. It starts with how you approach each and every single moment in your organization and how you develop the humans. Come on with it, man. Let me tell you something. But today, I just want to deal strictly with productivity, man. Productivity, because it is such an intricate part of the workload of each human that you have. Like, you have a set amount of productivity that you would like to get out of each and every human that steps forth in your organization. Just like you look at a machine or a piece of equipment and you say to yourself, how productive is this piece of equipment? How productive is this machine? How do we quantify that and turn it into something that we can say that it was producing at this level here, but now it's producing at this level here? Like those are the things that we must address each and every day that we step into the workplace. And I want to tell you right now, when it comes to the productivity of humans, it is not what you think it is. It is not just how much somebody can do within a shift. It is not how busy that person can be or how busy that human can be in a shift. It is not how much workload you put on that human in order for that human to get stuff done, right? But there's a science behind productivity, and I want to dip down into that science today. So let me slow down real quick, man. I learned this at a very young age, very young age, and I wanted to share this with you right now because it is the environment that has shaped productivity in my life. And the reason why I'm so fired up, I give it 100%. I go 120 miles an hour every time I'm doing something. And reason why I move the needle from here to here is because I had an environment that I grew up in, that I understand how productivity works and the science behind it. So listen to me, man. I was in high school, right? 16, 17 years old, just a young guy, man, young, right? Right, just full of energy, right? Ready to absorb everything, right? And I signed up to play the game of football in high school. Let me tell you something, just like some of you out there have signed up to play something when you were back in the days when you were younger and things like that. Let me tell you something, man, you pull from your past, because I'm telling you right now, you will be able to control the outcomes in your future if you just pull from those principles from your past. But let me tell you something, man. I signed up to play football, right? And I'm up at the varsity level now, even to the point where I'm a captain on the football team, right? And so, one thing I played on the line, and one thing that I had to learn early while playing on the offensive line is that I absolutely was not an individual, right? Like, there was a unit. There was 5 of us that's on this line, and we all had to move as a unit. Like, there's literally like the productivity of the offense was depending on how well the offensive line moved as a unit, right? So right there, there was a different culture, right? There was a different type of energy that I had to attain, and a different science that I had to understand in order to know how to move on this particular deal in the unit, right? As an individual, right? And some of you come to work every single day. You come to the group meetings in the morning, right? You sit there and you drink your coffee or eat your breakfast and wait for somebody to get done talking, right? If you don't even know what they're talking about, what they're saying, and then you sign on some paper that you're there, that you're present, but the whole time you have your own individual agenda. Like you haven't stepped into the realm of saying that we need to move as a unit today, and we need to get ourselves in a position to know exactly how productive we can be in this unit. Let me tell you something. So the first thing that we had to do or learn as a unit on the offensive line is that we had to understand that, hey, there needs to be no blocks in communication. Like everybody needs to talk it up. Principle number one, right? In order to be as productive as you possibly can be, in order to get your humans to produce the way that they need to produce, in order for you to produce in your life the way you need to produce in your life and for your dream and for your vision, you need to unblock communication. Let's go. Let me tell you something. We had to understand that in order for this thing to work, there needed to be a certain level of communication, not just from the coaches to us as individual players, but there needed to be a certain level of communication for us to each other as a unit, and then as a unit back to the coaches. Let me tell you something, man. And let me tell you something. This is not happening in the workplace. Let me tell you. The reason why I know it's not happening in the workplace is because there's too many times where there's an incident that something happens and we have a whole slew of people that's working in the place, in the vicinity, and nobody knows what's happening. Just do an incident investigation. Next time an incident happens where just a safety measure has failed, right? Whether it was systematic or it was just an error on the human's behalf, right? Or a combination thereof, right? Ask around, the people around, and you'll understand, you will not be able to get from the group exactly what happened. But because I was in the right environment at a young age, at a time when it shaped me, every time we had a situation that we did not move the football in the way that the coaches expected to move, in the way that we had our own expectations to move the football, right? Whether the breakdown was far away from me or the breakdown was next to me, I knew where the breakdown was. Why? Because I understood, because of the communication that we had amongst each and every person on that line allowed us to be able to know exactly where everybody was supposed to be. And if there was a breakdown, that's because somebody did not follow through on what they were supposed to be, or maybe there was a situation where we got a different look than we were expecting. Maybe the defense shifted at the last minute and there was a breakdown, but nevertheless, because of the communication and it was not blocked, we were able to take that communication and go back to the coaches and allow ourselves to make adjustments accordingly. Now, in your workplace, you have to do the same thing. Every single day you're asked to do this practice where you need to be communicating to not only to your supervisors, but you need to, as a unit, communicate back to your supervisors about what the changes are in the workplace that you might see. Right? Too many times have I sat through a meeting where one person is talking. Maybe even if it's been me, I'm the only person that's talking, but I'm more of I'm going to engage. I'm going to start pointing and calling names. But at the end of the day, everybody's not doing that. And just to satisfy or check the box that said that, hey, we had a safety meeting this morning. We had a meeting about our execution. We had a meeting about productivity this morning, and everybody signed on that they knew exactly what they were supposed to do. How do we get to a situation where we have an incident? Well, it's very simple. It's because communication is still blocked up. There's supervisors that still are just keen on wanting to just, hey man, I'm the law of the land. I'm the only one that's communicating. I'm the only one that's talking. And we as an organization allow our humans to sit back in the back and not do anything about their own communication. And why does that happen? It's because they're not developing in the position, and the responsibility of the organization is to make sure that the human who is sacrificing all of their time, all of their effort, all of their dream, they have their dreams and their vision and their goals riding on this opportunity, riding on the fact that they're there in the moment, in that place, and this is where they're going to be going, right? They don't take the time to help that human develop how to appropriately communicate the work and how to appropriately communicate if there's any changes that need to happen. And let me tell you something. When we were in that situation, in that culture, in that atmosphere in high school, right, we all had individual goals. We all knew where we all wanted to go somewhere. We all had something that we wanted to do individually, right? But because that was so important to us as individuals, we understood that we had to work together as a unit in order to get to where we're trying to get to as individuals. And a lot of times, people leave that out. They leave that out. They say, hey, you know what? It's all on me. I'm not going to work with, I don't have to worry about working with. If they mess up, that's on them. And it's not like that. When you work in an atmosphere that needs your culture to unblock communication, you have to be willing to say that if one messes up, we all mess up. And we all take accountability. We all take responsibility because we did not talk about or we did not communicate everything that needed to be communicated. So the next thing is that as we learn how to communicate, as we learn how to talk to one another and know exactly where one another was going, right? We started to see how that worked and how we were able to get to play 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards in front of the line of scrimmage. Let me tell you something, man. It sounds small, it sounds minuscule, but productivity is not about large leaps. Sometimes productivity is about making sure you're moving the needle in the right direction. Let me tell you something. If we played 3, 4, 5 yards in front of the line of scrimmage, our tailback, our running back, our halfback would be able to get the ball and go maybe 60, 70 yards. So everything is setting up something for something else. But because we found a way to unblock communication and we understood how to communicate effectively amongst ourselves, back to the coaches, right? Even to the quarterback, even to the running back, let them know what's going on and things like that, right? We had to understand that we had to become more responsive. Like more responsive, meaning that we have to understand that it is our responsibility as the line, as the unit, right, to respond in a certain way that we have to, that means that we're going in the right direction. Like if we make a certain play and we do something specific, right, we have to respond to that particular deal, because there's an adjustment that needs to be made. Maybe we didn't get exactly what it was that we're getting. Sometimes you find yourself in a situation where a system fails or somebody doesn't follow through, right? Now you got to become more responsive, but there's an effective way to do it. You have to be effective in becoming more responsive by understanding and knowing exactly what the adaptations that's needed. Don't blame somebody because they missed an assignment or because something happened over a situation. But becoming more responsive is about everybody saying, you know what, let's stop and let's focus on this. It wasn't just the offensive line coach that came down to address the breakdown, right? It was the offensive coordinator. It was the wide receivers coach. It was the running back coach. It was the head coach, right? They all came over to address the problem and situation, the breakdown we had on the line. That's becoming more responsive. And I've seen it so many times. Hey, man, they messed up. Hey, man, we're going to let safety handle that. We're going to let this supervisor handle that. Whatever the case is, everybody tight-lipped and everything else. No. We're going to become more responsive. Everybody got involved. The running back, the quarterback. Tell me what you saw. Let me see. Hey, man, this person right here. Hey, they came off the block. They spun off the block. You got to hold on to them. Maybe push them to the outside. I'll cut inside. Let me tell you something. That's how you make the adaptations to take and move the needle of your productivity higher. So number one, unblock communication. Number two, become more responsive. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about today is that, hey, you gotta go 120 miles an hour. You gotta aim higher at what you're doing. Like there is no excuse for not coming in and saying, I'm gonna give everything that I got today and every ounce of me that I'm doing it in. Like there's no excuse for that. Like that can't be coached. That can't be taught, right? That cannot be developed. That's gotta be something that's in you that you have to say to yourself, today is the day that I give everything I got to this and lend myself to this operation, right? And a lot of times organizations are not there. They're not strong enough in the sense of being able to get people inspired and fired up about why it is they're coming to work and what it is that they're doing. Like I'm telling you to aim higher in your everyday operation at your job, but that should trigger something in you because it should allow you to open up and see what is it that you need to aim higher in your dreams and in your vision. Like, why is there communication blocked up in your dream and your vision? Why are you unresponsive to the changes that's happening in your life? Why are you not aiming higher? Like, this is everyday practice, man. You got to separate yourself. You got to do something more than what you've done before in order to do what it is you're trying to do in this life. And a lot of times you're stagnant in your life, you're stagnant in your dreams, you're stagnant in your vision because you don't understand the practice that you're provided, the opportunity to practice every single day, these different principles. You're not able to apply them to your life because you're not able to go to the highest level that you need to go to in the operation that you're in. So today, I need you to understand, in order to take productivity to the next level, right? You've got to unblock communication, you've got to become more responsive, and you've got to aim higher. I remember before the start of the season, right? My senior year, right? We lost the second round of the playoffs as a junior on a Friday. On a Monday, we're back in the weight room working out, right? And the whole time, every time we got tired, every time we was on the last rep, every time we had an opportunity to chant something out of our mouth, the next thing we said, we going 15-0. Like it took 15 games to get to the state championship, and we weren't settling for nothing less than 15-0. Like that is what our aim was, right? We had to aim at a level we had never aimed. We had never said that we had never brought that up in our spirit. We had never said when we dog tired and we feel like we can't go no more, and that we find a way to muster out another rep or two or three, the whole time we saying 15-0. Like there's nobody else that's going to outwork us in this city. There's nobody else that's going to outwork us in this state. And somehow you have to aim higher in what it is that you're doing. Unblock communication. Become more responsive. Aim higher. Listen, and your productivity will go through the roof. Let me tell you something. How do you get this science? How do you get this science intertwined into your organization? Your organization needs a curriculum, not just a new policy, not just a new procedure, not just some one-time inspiration or motivation, right? Your organization needs a curriculum. Where do you get that curriculum? I'm going to say it 3 times. Legacy Economics Group. Legacy Economics Group, and the sun is shining. One more time. Legacy Economics Group. Let me tell you something. The one-stop shop for all of the needs to help develop the culture in your organization, to take it from a bottom-level, poor communication type culture to a high-level, high execution, high productivity, high quality and safety culture within your organization. Legacy Economics Group, it's your boy, right? The umpire safety, right? Go to the website, check us out, see what's going on. Give me a call, right? Let me know what you need, exactly what you need. We'll come in for a free consultation. We'll do a consultation over a Zoom call. But I want to know what you're struggling with within your organization. If it's productivity, if productivity and safety are linked together, so I'm not going to try to separate those two, right? If you're having productivity issues, 10 times out of 10, you're having safety issues too, right? And you're having trouble finishing. You're having trouble with your execution as well. So I want to help you with the whole process. If you're struggling with safety, you're struggling with productivity, you're struggling with finishing, right? All these things are linked together, and I want to be the one to come in and say, this is the curriculum, this is exactly what it is that you need to do to change that, and we're going to watch it change within your organization, human by human. Let me tell you something, system by system, we're going to change it. And so, let's go right now. It's your boy, Aaron Mars, the umpire, Legacy Economics Group. Get at me, over and out. Let's go.